Your feet are your foundation. You stand on your feet, you crouch down on your feet, you walk on your feet, you run on your feet, you do almost everything on your feet. So the fact that your feet are connected to the rest of your body means that if your feet aren't healthy, then it could affect how the rest of your body functions. The problem is, as humans in today's society, we put our feet in foot jail, literally from the time you are an infant. So we wear shoes all the time, everywhere, and we hardly ever go barefoot anymore. The muscles in your feet are weak. Your arches are weak. The muscles around your toes are weak. All of those things can affect the function of your knees, the function of your hips, the function of your shoulders, the function of your back, and so on all the way up. So if you're not used to going barefoot, I would suggest taking it slow. I wouldn't just take my shoes off and do everything barefoot. Your feet won't be ready for that. But I would definitely start with walking around the house without shoes on, walking outside to really strengthen and challenge those muscles in your feet. I would say that when you're outside walking around on different terrain, whether it's on the grass or on concrete or on a wood deck or whatever, really think about what your feet are doing and how they're connecting to the ground underneath you, how they need to, bend or grab a certain way. Feel the muscles, all of your muscles working in your feet as you move across different surfaces. Transitioning to barefoot training is something that I personally have been doing over the past 10 years. I almost always work out barefoot, depending on what I'm doing. I mean, if I'm running, I'm wearing running shoes, low profile running shoes, but still wearing running shoes. For the most part, if I'm doing mobility or low impact work, or even strength training, even with weights, I'm going to do it with bare feet, just so that I can actually strengthen those muscles. Another thing to think about when you're going barefoot is how you distribute your weight over your foot. So think about really spreading out your toes nice and wide and feeling the weight from your body over all of your toes, right from your baby toe right to your big toe. If your feet are your foundation, then you need to really utilize the whole foot when you're standing or moving or anything like that. And if your feet are in shoes, it's much harder to feel that you're actually doing that. Being barefoot just allows you to be that much more connected to whatever you're moving on. Last thing I would suggest doing is stretching your toes. So not only are you just moving barefoot around and, spreading your toes out, but think about stretching your toes. This is something we hardly ever do. Even something as simple as coming forward on your knees, sitting on your feet is much harder than you could ever imagine, but definitely helps with the mobility of your toes and prevents injury in your feet in general. Going barefoot helps with your adaptability and responsiveness during movement in any kind of physical activity.